Hello? Testing. Making sure that everything is on this time. Hi, everybody. Hopefully the mic is on, but welcome to another Zero stream. And it's the last day of the month. So, just like last month, I cut together some footage that I recorded of myself drawing the latest episode of Jet's Black Nuzlocke. Last month, we got to see past self doing the coloring and the shading, but this time we're going to see how the sketch and the line art went. No coloring or anything. So yeah. In any case, just like last time before we jump into the footage, I wanted to just do a quick review of the episode itself, just to read through it and, you know, for those who haven't read it yet this month. Hopefully the mic is on this time. For anyone who was here last time, you know I had a little bit of a trouble. But yeah, I guess we'll jump right in. Hello, Rodolfo Valenzuela. Hi, nice work. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Foxy. Foxy King fan is here. And, yeah. So, this is the latest episode of Jet's Black Nuzlocke. We start with a bit of a establishing shot. You see that little shelmet up there? That's Lord Joust. That was supposed to be one of my, catches. I think in Icarus City, but I couldn't really fit him in, so, I just gave him a bit of a cameo. He might show up later. If I can figure out how to backtrack a bit and get to him later, then he'll be in the Rodolfo says, I'm Chikorito or Yoshiki on some of your live streams. I don't have a consistent nickname. Well, hello. Whatever you're called, welcome back to the live stream. It's always good to see you. We got the pole from the maypole dance and the tops of some tents, and then you see there's a bit of a forested area, and then I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted Icarus City to transition into Dragonspire. Like, in the game, it's really kind of immediate. Like, they're just neighbors. It's down the street. You walk up and then there it is. But I didn't like having it that accessible, I guess. So I kind of put a big forest in between, not a huge one, but a decent one, a wooded area, and then a bit of a crater or some cliffs and a giant lake. So there's a bit of traversing in order to get to the tower. It's not a place that people don't know about. Like, the people of Icarus City would know about it. It would be like a landmark, but they probably wouldn't take the time to have a picnic there, if that makes sense. Foxy says, that drawing took forever. Yeesh. Grits teeth. It wasn't too bad. Of the drawings in this episode, this one didn't take the longest, but it was a bit of a struggle to get the geography down. And enter Brother Noodles. It's funny, when I first drew this guy, he basically just looked like Fire Dog. He had the exact same pose when I drew him, so, like, I think somehow I got him to look a little unique from Fire Dog, when I finally came around to adding him into to the series. But in any case, he's just sitting around and he notices some grunts have appeared. And my Chinese isn't very good, but he goes, "Yo, Lila." He's saying, "Not again. Here we go again." So yes, I don't know why, but he speaks Chinese. His design is a Shaolin monk, sort of. So when I first played the games, I'm like, you're going to speak Chinese. I don't care how I'm going to make it happen in the comic, but when I get to this part, I'm going to make you speak Chinese. Are you learning Chinese? No, Chinese is my heritage, so I was born in China. I am Chinese by blood, but I came to America when I was about 2 years old, so, I don't know that much Chinese. I have maybe a kindergartner's level of speaking and listening for Chinese, and I have no like reading or writing comprehension. I got my mom to help me with this line. Anyways, so Percy's like, I can't believe we made it past all those people unnoticed. Sometimes it's easier to blend into a crowd. Not dressed like us, it isn't. Now, was it left or right? So they arrived somewhere around the like where the cliff is still kind of thick. So she's not sure if she should go to the left or the right to not have to go all the way around the that lake. Foxy says, "Wait, BRB, I'm going to finish some details on my drawing." Okay, I'll be here when you come back, but I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna keep going. But the comic is on my website if you want to read it. I'm not really happy with how this panel came about. So Brother Noodles pops out of the bushes, and she goes, "Yeah, what the?" And Percy's like, "What?" But because he's down here and the speech bubble's up here, it like you read her reaction first. So it doesn't flow very well, but I couldn't figure out how else to do it, so. And, a wild Mian Fu. Just ignore it and it'll leave. Alright. Hey! And he's like, blocks. Foxy's like, what is your website? Here, I'll drop it in it's jetsblacknuzlocke.com. It's really bad, so, I'm maybe eventually going to redesign it, but for now it's readable, it works, so I'm not gonna bother. Looks like it didn't upload to Picarto, but it's jetsblacknuzlocke.com. So Valerie is not impressed. What is it doing? Is it trying to tell us something? Probably wants us to feed it. She's just trying to walk past. And... get out of my way, Pipsqueak! Hey! Kicks. What are you even worried about? Fighting types are tough. Still. See? It's fine. Yeah, now Brother Noodles is the one who's not impressed. He's like, forget this. In a safe distance, he kind of stops. So, like, they're still arguing in the background. And then... Here's Jet and Co. So the kind of dotted lines are showing that they're whispering. So Charon's like, "Are those? Yeah, the same grunts we met in Driftvale. This is perfect. If we follow them, they're sure to lead us to their hideout." "And then what? You plan on taking on Team Plasma by yourself?" "I hadn't really planned that far ahead. You never have anything planned. We need to go tell Alder." "Charon, if we send in the strongest trainers in Unova, the only thing that we can expect is fighting. And we'll win, that's the point. You said a peaceful solution is best. Within reason. Charon, this doesn't have to end badly." And she's just like, creeps along, let's follow along. Oh, Foxy's finished. Oh, are you drawing that dapper fox? that you posted earlier? I can't wait to see the final. Jet! Sorry, Charon, I can't shake the feeling that I can change his mind. He said he trusted me. I told you it was this way! Trusted me to do what, I wonder? So, here's the first shot of Dragon Spiral Tower up close. And rather than going in the front door, I made it so that there's like a whole block, like, exploded out from the side. Maybe it was like there all along and for like a long time. So there's some caution tape, sort of. Foxy's like, "Yas, queen!" And Venezuela or Rodolfo or Chicarito, is Charon going to kill them? Charon is not impressed. Nobody is impressed in this episode. Everyone is sick and tired of everyone else's. But anyways. So yeah. Jet has no idea what this is. She doesn't study geography. What is that? And then here comes Charon following her up. And he's going to explain that that's Dragon Spiral Tower. Charon! One of the last standing ruins of ancient Unova. Ooh, that letting is really bad. It's the U is touching the G up there. Oops, I didn't catch that. But in any case, what made you decide to follow me? Honestly, based on what you told Bianca, they ought to be able to figure it out. And if things do get bad, you'll need backup. Thanks, Charon. It means a lot. Oh, I love drawing Charon's Laypard. He's so cool. Let's go! And then, shink! Here comes the Mienfu! Shoot, I can't quite remember what this says. It's like, Ni bunung guo, I think. It says, You shall not pass! Basically. Ni bushi guo! Or something like that. And he's like, huh? Everyone's staring, and then Jet's gonna try to walk around, but nope, not gonna have it. The best way to get rid of a Pokemon is to just catch it in a Pokeball. Sorry, kid, but it's go time. And then we go on ahead. So that's my Dragon Spiral Tower catch. I didn't do the thing where I catch one Pokemon outside, one Pokemon inside, so that's the one. Probably should have waited, because you can go right around the grass, but I just wanted to catch something. I didn't realize it was going to be the same area. And then you got some, what is it called? Wall text from Getsu. So he's just rambling. You don't really need to read the stuff, but since I'm reading out loud, I'm going to read it. And he says, blah, 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 and has been lost to the sounds of time. The other lies at the top of this tower, its location hardly a secret to anyone. Due to the misguided efforts of the Pellucid Tamers Guild, there are far less dragons than there once were, making it much safer to explore these ruins now. Of course, the tower has been closed to the public for some time. Maybe I should give him like an old man voice. No, that's too much. Location of the relic. Only the ideal hero, like that of ancient Unova, could possibly hope to awaken the power of the dragon and gain its allegiance. This is what you have been training for, my king, and now that you have completed your pilgrimage, the purpose of which was to test your resolve, we... Gets this. I already understand the task set before me, but that there may not be another chance for me to say this. So, thank you. I would not have made it this far on my own. And Getsus is just like, how do I respond to this? You honor me, my king. Perhaps, but I felt it needed saying after all. After all, the battle to decide the fate of our world is finally at hand. I don't have a cool enough voice for how I imagine this scene, but oh man, he's finally ready to grasp his destiny. Foxy says, so I did 2 just in case if you didn't like the finished. You did 2 finished ones, or I'm gonna take a look at this. Give me a sec, guys. Creative Corner. Whoa. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna add like a full body, but this is pretty cool. It's almost like a wallpaper, almost like a phone wallpaper, kind of abstract. That's very nice, Foxy. I like it. Are you sure about this? Ready as I'll ever be. Fist bump. One more last fist bump. Anyways, stick together. They could be anywhere. And this is the page, the panel that took forever. Chico says, I need that panel as a wallpaper. Hey, I might save it as a high res and post it to the Discord if you want. Yeah, you'll see when we look at the footage, but it took, I left this whole panel for later me to deal with. It was actually pretty fun. She's peeking around the corner. What was it? I don't know. Go! Let? Foxy says, actually, the one I'm going to post now is the original idea. Ooh, okay. Hello, Chico. Welcome to the stream. Golet? Let go? Odd. It's not in the Pokedex. Go! Go! Let go! Let go! Let! Go! And, plop. I don't know what sound effect that would be, but... Oh, hey! At least they seem like they're peaceful. Yeah, Major! Come on, we'll just wade past them. What are they? Or a better question, what are they for? Oh, man. I had to do this panel twice. This one with all the creepy eyes. Because the first time I did it, I accidentally messed up by... Well, you'll see. So this panel down here, this Golurk, I drew half of him, and then I copied, pasted, and then duplicated it to get the other half so that it's perfectly symmetrical, and then I flattened it. But then I didn't realize that this panel was also attached. So I also copy-pasted, flipped, and then flattened this guy. So, yeah, it messed up all the line art. The Last Tower Guardian. Ancient Unovians built these golems for protection, but they no longer obey human commands. This is the last obstacle in our path. Are you ready? Lord Getsis! Valerie? Why haven't you returned to the castle with the others? What? Didn't you tell us to bring that kid here? Huh? I gave no such. I gave the order. My lord! So she's here. Good. Now I can proceed without any regrets. I regret everything! Ah! And man. Jet! Somehow this is all your fault! Ah! It's your stupid cat that made me sneeze! So yeah, there we go. That's the episode. And hopefully they'll be alright next time. On Jet's Black Nuzlocke. She goes like, make Valerie emojis. Really? Is there a demand for Valerie? She's She's quite the character, I suppose. So, yeah, that's the episode. We're going to transition to watching some of the footage, cause there's at least like 2 hours of it. I only recorded up to about this point. I don't have anything beyond here because at this point I was like, oh, this is gonna be difficult, and then I was running out of time, so I had to really kick it up a gear. And I wasn't sure how this would go. When I am not certain how I'm going to draw something, being recorded or the feeling of being watched kind of makes me nervous. So I didn't record this amazing panel that I drew, which I kind of wish I did because I want to see myself draw it again. But unfortunately, I stopped right before. So yeah, that said, we're going to pull up, let's see, there we go, and I'm just gonna let it play. So for anyone who may not understand what's happening, this is just a movie file that I have pre-recorded and stitched together, and it's slightly sped up. So I think there's like 12 hours of footage that have been put together for this and scrunched together. And yeah, we can just kind of chat and talk about it. If you have any questions about what's happening on the screen, maybe, or like about the story, or just anything in general, just feel free to post in the chat, and I'll be chatting with you guys. I don't even have Karen working today, my Restreamio bot that reads the chat to me. Don't need her. I'm not drawing anything, so I'm just gonna watch the chat myself. So Chico says, great strip, hands down. Thank you very much. This is the start of the last arc of this story. We're in the final stretch at this point. Each strip has thousands of good expressions. I like the faces, but you'll see as I'm drawing. This is the sketch phase right now, where I'm sort of laying out the panel. And a lot of the faces actually come out while I'm sketching, and I'm just kind of roughing in an idea of what I might want to be shown, like what expression might be there. But when I get to the line art stage, I kind of just like it so much that I don't refine the drawing. I'm like, this silly face that I did really fast is pretty fun. I'll just keep it. Most of the times when I do dot eyes, I anticipate like actually drawing a real face by the end, but it doesn't always happen. Rodolfo says, also amazing composition. Aw, shucks, guys. Chica says, too bad I see it very small. Very small? Are you watching on your phone? Chica's like, you killed her, didn't you? What, Valerie? Foxy says, oh wait, shoot, did I post my new profile pic on Discord? I'm not sure. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I see it a little bit. It looks really fun. Chica says, hey Zero, isn't it faster to work on just one file instead of multiple page files? You could subdivide. I used to do that, but so I switched to this format for several reasons. First and foremost, the main reason I switched to this style of working is that it makes the file size smaller. It's not going to be an issue anymore now that I have a new computer. But when I was working on my laptop, my poor dinky little 13-inch MacBook Pro, it didn't have enough memory to accommodate the full size long form panels. So yeah, I almost couldn't like even open them at or like save them at a certain point. I had to save them as a different file format just to have all of the resolution and stuff. So that's one. The second reason is if I eventually want to print this, having very structured divided pages will make it easier to save them out as pages in the future to make PDFs out of. Even if I don't like print books, just to make PDFs, it's going to be a lot simpler than having to go through and like crop each section down. And then of course the last reason is, well, if you're going to do comics, sorry it's so moved over. When I'm drawing, I like kind of stick my face close to the screen rather than zoom in. So it's like, maybe I can move the chat around so that it's not, you know, always over something. I can't. Hold on. There we go. Anyways. Yeah, so if you're going to do normal comics that aren't like web comics that just go up and down, you want to learn how to draw the flow of the scene by page, keeping in mind like where the page turns are, where the spreads are going to be. Like, people are going to be able to see these two pages together, even though they'll probably just read panel by panel. And then when they turn the page, what's that last panel going to be leading them into the next page, you know? So it's kind of also practice for me to get a little more used to the way that works. If it's easier, I might switch back to sketching it long form and then just cutting it down, but I've kind of gotten used to it this way. I will say there was a drop in quality of flow when I switched to this format, because, you know, when you're just doing from the top and then adding canvas as you go down and need more, you are drawing it in a way that people will read. But when I'm doing it this way, I'm drawing it in pages, whereas the people will read it in a strip. So there's a little bit of a disconnect, and it didn't flow as well at first. And I think I'm getting a little better. I've been stringing together my sketches into a long strip and reading through just to make sure. But yeah, I'm still working on that. It's still a work in progress. I don't know why I keep drawing these horde Pokemon. Like, horde battles doesn't even come around until next generation. First with the Patrats, and then now with the Golett. It's too much. Hello, Midna! Hello! Welcome to the stream! Foxy says, so I might do a drawing stream soon. I just gotta figure out how to stream on it. You just do a display capture. If you use OBS, it's pretty simple. You can export layers in Photoshop and Clip and GIMP. Yes, I know. I'm not sure what you mean by that, like, but yeah, that's certainly a function. Midna says, greetings, gamers. Midna! And Chico says, Clip is good for that kind of planning. Yeah, I'll probably eventually look up some tutorials on the comic formats that Clip offers, but right now I'm not dealing with any of that like fancy stuff. It's just I'm just using it as a drawing program. Minna, that little anime girl with the cowboy hat is so cute. Anything with a cowboy hat on it is great in my book. It's rootin' tootin' and gosh darn shootin'. Chico says, yeah, it's hard. Yeah. Foxy says, so I am going to do a full body next time. So excited. First time to actually do that. Really? No, you've done full body drawings before. I feel like I've seen at least one full body before. Yeah, at first I wanted light to be coming out of the windows. I thought that would be cool, but then later I realized if there was light pouring in from the windows, then why would their eyes be so, like, glowy? And, so I decided I had to make the scene darker and, to emphasize the glowy eyes. And also, they were probably a little further into the tower, so they wouldn't be near the edge to see light from those windows. This would be more like windows and the next room over would be the ballroom or something, and so you can like look through to what the people are doing on the other side, but not windows to the outside. Not with wolf. Oh, it's a wolf. I thought it was a fox. I just assume any dapper chapper is a fox. Hello, Tails. Welcome to the stream. You missed the dramatic reading. I like sped past the dramatic part because I get so like I don't want to be dramatic. But yeah. Just going through the sketch. I think there was a jump, a time skip, you could say, right there. Sometimes when I'm trying to record myself drawing stuff, the comic, rather, I forget to, and, like, I'll start working on the comic, and, like, halfway through, I'll be like, oh, oops, I should be recording this. But also sometimes I turn off the recording if I'm like struggling too much with the acting, because I don't like to be watched when I'm acting. You know, animation and by proxy comic booking, since comic books are pretty much just storyboarding, it's a lot of acting and not necessarily just drawing. Like, it's more personal, I guess. You kind of put a little bit of yourself into the character when you're animating. Chico says, do you feel like recording is kind of a bother that interferes with your flow? It is a little bit, only because it's like something that I have in the back of my mind that I have to keep track of. I think it may be also a little bit annoying because I have two screens. I have two monitors. The Cintiq is a monitor and the main computer. So when I'm drawing and I want to record myself drawing, I record my Cintiq. But that makes the other screen dimmer. It like dims it slightly. So if I'm watching a video or something, it kind of is annoying, I guess. But other than that, no, it's not too much of a bother, like, oh, the computer's watching me, so much as I kind of have to remember that I'm recording sometimes and not just sit around for half an hour watching a video and forget to draw. The first pass of the scene, you can see I just sketched out, but I decided not to go with that eventually. Originally, I was gonna have and just finding the stone, but then I realized there was gonna be like a bit of time before Jet arrives, and I kind of wanted Jet to be there when he finally awakens the dragon, and also it seemed a little too easy, so I decided to throw in a Golurk in between to like as a final trial sort of thing. Like, you have to defeat this guy before you can pass. Camtasia is good because you just pause. It is surprising the amount of programs that can't do that. I will write that down. Where's my sticky? Where are my sticky notes? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Golly. Oh, I have, I can open up my notes on the computer. I'll write that down. Camtasia recorder. Oh, it auto-corrected to Fantasia. Camtasia. Yeah, now that I have a new computer, I can actually download apps and stuff to, like, do things. I'm thinking of buying an app from the App Store that lets you guys see what key I'm pressing on the keyboard. So if I'm, like, doing a bunch of shortcuts or whatever, you can see exactly which key I'm pressing at what time. I'll look into getting Camtasia. I don't know if I'm going to do many more of these recording sessions and like commentary sessions. I might skip the next episode just because I'm not really... I didn't... Let's see. I think I recorded a little bit of the last one, but not enough to do a full one of these. Maybe we can watch it without any speed up. I don't know. I'll have to review it and see what it looks like, if it's interesting or not. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna record the next episode just because I don't know where it's going. I don't have the script properly, like, formatted, so it's a lot of trying to think of things and starting working on it for 5 minutes and then putting it down for like half an hour and like walking around and thinking and coming back and working for maybe like half an hour and leaving for 3 more hours. So it's not complete workflow yet. Once I get to a part where I think it would be interesting to watch, I might start recording again. Well, the next month we probably won't. Well, no, next month I might have something, but the month after that, maybe not. That's a chance for me to say, anyone who wants to read the next episode 2 days early, it is up on my Patreon right now. So, let me see. Here's a link to my Patreon. If anyone wants to support me, it's just $1 to get in on the early access. I try to post the next episode at least by the 27th of each month. So you get a 3 or 4 days at least to read before anyone else does, and like chat with me in the Discord about it, and get some like exclusive like insight of how I feel and what I thought through. All of Brother Noodles' dialogue will be translated on the Patreon, but I'll probably not do so on the other places just because it's a lot of writing. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Come join us, where I complain about Clip Studio and Pokemon Anatomy. Chico says I can send you a free thingy for that. Will the free thingy work on my Mac, though? Remember, I have an iMac, not a Windows computer. Brother Noodles is the name of the Mienfu that I caught. My dragon spiral capture. He speaks Chinese. You know, from the beginning, I had planned for him to speak Chinese, but I also planned for there to be like an entire community of Mienfu with one Mian Xiao as like their elder, and he would be like this grizzled, thick eyebrowed, you can't see his eyes, kind of squinty eyed old master guy, and he'd be like, oh, and they would all speak Chinese to each other, and like I would have a whole scene where nobody could understand anything. Chico says it's like saying brethren. Really? Oh wait, I miss. Brother is a religious term in Spanish. Yes, because it's also in a lot of English ways, because the Mian Xiao and Mian Fu design is very much based on like the Buddhist Shaolin monks, and so there is a bit of a religious undertone to them. They're known for their like martial arts, obviously, but it's like a sect of a religious order, I guess. So the Mienfu their religious order, I guess, or rather, it's not so much religion, but more like some kind of tradition or whatever, is to protect the dragon stone. So they were. It was going to be like they're the first line of defense. They're outside, and they guard the area and try to prevent people from entering the castle. And then when people enter the castle, you have the feral dragons roaming around, and you have the Gollet who will, you would expect them to like stop you, and stuff like that. So it's all trials, basically. The thing with the dragon stone, the one for ideals, is that you need to show that you have a strong sense of your ideal, like a strong push to I don't know, achieve your dream. No fear, like you have the strength and the power to do it. And so most people know where it is. The Dragon Spiral Tower isn't exactly hidden, and most people know of the rumor that there's a powerful relic at the top, but no one can actually, well, very few people can get through all the trials to the stone. And even when they get to the stone, there's one last bit of trial where you have to convince Zekrom to accept you as the hero. And no one has been able to do that until N, because obviously, like spoilers, I guess, but if you've played Black and White, you know. But yeah, like with Reshiram Stone, it's more knowledge based. So like you have to, like, nobody knows where the White Stone is. Hello, Leonard. Oh, excuse me. Hello, Leonard. Welcome to the stream. A Drudgegon. Yeah, no one knows where the White Stone is, so only the wise, I suppose, or the people who have done the research or like seek knowledge, they seek the truth, will be able to find it. Chico says the tower is haunted with dragons this time. Oh no. Hey. But yeah, so that was my bit of world building. What ended up happening with the Mianfu, because I didn't really get the whole like the order of brotherhood, the brotherhood of Mians. Oh, also in Chinese, Mian, depending on how you pronounce it, the word Mian can mean noodle. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you get lo mein, the main part is spelled mian. So yeah, that's why I named him Brother Noodles, because I liked that kind of like religious monk kind of aesthetic that he had, and also his name literally had noodle in the name. I think it's pronounced mian. If you wanna say noodle, it's mian with the word going down. So in Chinese, instead of saying lo mein, it's luo mian, I think. I'm not really sure what it means. China and their puns. You have no idea. Chinese is all about the puns. Like, we have several sayings, and they're all just puns. We have several, all the jokes are basically puns, like a lead up to a pun, or, some kind of build up to a pun. It's hilarious. I love it. I wish I knew more Chinese so I can appreciate all of it, but yeah. Nintendo doubled down in Gen 5. Golett are ghosts! Are you saying the dragons are also ghosts? Oh man. The language for puns. Yeah! I think, I don't know if it's so much like it's everyone in China just loves puns, or that the language itself lends itself so well to each part of it having a different meaning. But even like naming your children, you would probably kind of use puns in the naming convention. Like if you have 5 boys, you would give them all names that kind of rhyme or something. It's kind of funny. Chico says, strangely enough, I don't know any Chinese comedians. I don't think they're very funny if you're not Chinese. Unfortunately. Every every Chinese New Year, there's a big show that China puts on. Kind of like an Oscars, but like not really, you don't really vote or win anything. It's more just a talent show almost. And there's a whole ton of comedians. And old people tend to like to watch it. So, that's like the thing to do on Chinese New Year, I guess. And you have singers too, people who like pop stars who will come and sing, and you'll have like comedy bits, and it's a good time. Tail says, I remember a classmate learning Chinese told me half of year 2 Chinese was going, wait, is that another pun? Everything is a pun. Even if it's not a pun, it will become a pun. Rodolfo says, you could try watching a movie, playing a video game, or listening to music you already know very well in Chinese to try to understand something. Like Eurovision? Maybe. I don't really know what Eurovision is. I just know I've seen some really, really talented people on it. But I don't know what the event itself is exactly. And to the point of watching a movie or playing a game in Chinese, I actually watched, in my youth, all of Case Closed in Chinese. Well, I say all of. I mean like an entire box set of. Because my parents who would go to China sometimes to visit extended family would sometimes bring me back anime in Chinese, so I couldn't understand it, and they didn't have subtitles, so I couldn't read the subtitles and find out what it meant. But I knew enough Chinese that I could sort of gather like bits and pieces, and then the rest of it was just watching the cartoon and like using context clues, which was really bad because Case Closed is a detective anime, so you kind of really need to know what's what's being said. Ooh, cool, you mean Detective Conan is really popular in my country. Yes, sorry, Detective Conan, sorry, in America we call it Case Closed. But yeah, no, I love, like, I don't know what it is about the style, but it's very appealing to me. And only really when I'm watching the anime. If you show me like a screenshot of it, I might be like, it's a little off. I don't know what exactly, but I'm not a huge fan of how they do the eyes. But then when I watch the show, I'm like, the way they do the eyes is perfect and they should not change. And like, I just really like it. Tails just like slams through the door despite already being here. Tails got up, left the room only to kick my door down so that she can scream, Detective Conan? Yes. And I have rewatched several episodes in English, and it is still very good. I love the theme song in any language. It's one of those theme songs that no matter what language it's been translated into, it's great. And I love the English one because then I can sing along. Yeah, it's great. I stopped watching it after I realized they're never going to end. Like, he's never going to not be a child again, because then they wouldn't have a show. Leonard says, I've never watched. Is it good? I think it's good. I would recommend it. At least the first, I want to say season, but I think the first box set that I had several seasons. So, at least the first, like, 50 to 100 episodes, I'd say, are very good. I enjoyed it. It's very gruesome, though. A lot of death. So if you're not, like, put off by a lot of death, suicide, murder, stuff like that. I mean, it's a detective show, so it's gonna have that. Then it's a good time. Chico says, I want to rewatch it. It's so good. YouTube had a bunch of them in English, and then it, like, stopped showing them right around the piano episodes, and I got really upset because I really wanted to rewatch that one. I couldn't remember how, and like almost any of them finished, so it was like watching it for the first time again. Not to mention I watched it in Chinese the first time, so they would like curse a lot, but in Chinese, so I like didn't know when they were cursing, but apparently when they just make the noise, it's like, oh, that's a curse. The story is, maybe that I'm remembering that from the Japanese. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched it. Zero, help! I'm stuck in another Detective Conan stint. Last time I got in one, I got from 430 up to 505. My goodness, that's a lot of episodes. If you like mystery, it's really fun. It has a weird but satisfying childish logic mixed in with murder. It's a fun ride. Also, the poor junior detectives are so traumatized. Oh my goodness. Some of my favorite parts are these poor little kindergartners. So if you don't know, the premise of Detective Conan is this kid, the genius detective guy. He's like maybe in his 19s or 17 years old. He's like the smartest detective in the world, Sherlock Holmes level, makes a lot of enemies, and this bad guy turns him into a child through like chemistry, I guess. So he still has the mind of a brilliant detective, but in the body of a kindergartner. And so he has to go to school for some reason. And like he makes friends with these kindergartners who thinks he's like a child. And this little girl is like in love with him, I think. And it's just like, you poor kid. But yeah, they get looped in too. Also, Zero, I think I've seen a plot episodes only list for Detective Conan. If you want, I can track it down for you. Ooh, that sounds good. I haven't actually rewatched it. I think YouTube like had half the episode, and that was it, and I like wanted to die. That way you can watch the story with no filler. Oh, like just the plot? Does he actually do they actually finish the story, you mean? Like he finds the killer and gets his body back? That would be interesting. But I like the filler, you know? The filler's good. In a episodic anime like this, I don't really know what's filler and what's not. It's just all character interactions. I get excited when I talk about anime, you guys. Save for Phantom Thief Kaito episodes. Those are on the list because they're the best. With a drug that is supposed... oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry, I missed some stuff. I just kept rambling. 1,000 Ways to Die, but you learn how to kill people. Yeah, the story is cool, but doesn't move at all. The characters make it good. It is a perfect setup for, like... Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized the play thing is up on the screen. That must have been annoying. Anyway. There's like 900 episodes and counting. I can't believe it. That's a lot of filler. But it's like, we're not going anywhere, you know? It's like, from episode 5, you know that we're not, this is the status quo. We're not leaving here, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Detective Conan is on the lower end of my anime I have to watch list. The second box set that I got from China, we tracked down one that had Japanese, because I thought maybe they would include subtitles. They did not have subtitles in English. They had subtitles in Chinese, which I can't read. But they also didn't have audio options. What they did was they played the Japanese audio on top of the Chinese audio. So you couldn't hear anything. You couldn't understand anything. It was the worst. I don't know who decided this was a good idea. But yeah, so I haven't watched any further than where I left off. I'm gonna watch it all. I love this show, filler and all. There goes your life tales. Just wave as it passes you by. Chico says, Valerie has no heart, though. Way to kick him on. Way to kick him on when he's down. Yeah, well, I mean, she did cause my first death, so I can't really, there's nothing happened to change her character. So it's just her character, trait, I guess, is kicking Pokemon. Kicks Pokemon. Maybe I should give her a backstory that explains why she kicks everything. I bet she kicks her brother too, honestly. Rodolfo says the teen doesn't care about the little girl too much. He had a girlfriend his age, and as a kid lives with her, and her father is a lame detective that believes he solves the cases. Her dad is hilarious. I don't remember much about the show, but I do remember liking the father character. And I think she's pretty cool too. Also, his name as a kid is Conan because he was asked on the spot by his girlfriend when he had turned into a kid what his name was, and he couldn't just say his actual name, so he like looked on the bookshelf and he has like all of Sherlock Holmes novels, so he's like, my name's Conan, and she's like, Conan? He's like, yeah, my parents were a big fan of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, so they named me after him. And she buys it. She's like, wow, nerds, you poor kid. You know. And as a kid, one, I didn't really get it because it was in Chinese, and two, I didn't really know who Conan Doyle was. So to me it seemed like a perfectly fine name. I mean, like, yeah, that's a cool name. Basically, Detective School Q is cool too. I haven't heard of that one. Detective School Q. Huh. I might check it out. It'll probably add it to my growing list of anime that I haven't watched. But especially the Phantom Thief Kaito episodes. OMG, I love it so much. I don't quite remember those exactly. I have vague knowledge of the show. I remember being traumatized by the episode where they're having some kind of slumber party or whatever, but there's like several people, and then they start getting killed off, and they have to find out like which one of them is doing it because they're in a remote area. That one like was really scary to me as a kid. So I played Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 3 on Saturday, and what it made me realize is I was scared of a lot of things as a kid. Shinji and Kaito are just having a smug off as they go. Are those names of the kids? The two kids? The two boys? That sounds about right. I can't understand people that listen stuff with double audio. I think is common in Russia. Really? Huh. I didn't think it was common anywhere. I thought it was like a mistake, like someone was being dumb. Whoever makes the smuggest face wins. Yes. The famous detective Kojuro. These Japanese names, man. I might move this over again just in case. I have approximate knowledge of many things. Frank the human boy. Big mystery is if the girlfriend knows or not his real identity. You know, that was one of the things that I loved the most about Danny Phantom, was that his sister eventually finds out that he's a ghost and just keeps it a secret. It's like, good on you. What was her name? Jazz? I don't remember. But it was kind of cool. It like broke the status quo just slightly, but not so much that you had to like restructure anything. But it was like, it was nice having someone else find out. There are people who name their kids things like Naruto or Apple. What? It's not even that odd, I suppose. Yeah, was Naruto? No, Naruto wouldn't have been a normal name, because Naruto means like spiral, right? or fish cakes. I can't remember if it refers to the spiral on the fish cake or like the actual fish cake, but yeah, that's kind of an odd name. You have I read that one. It's about groups of teen detective guys, and for some reason every time they're around, someone gets murdered. Maybe they're the bad luck. If I saw those kids, I'd run away as far as I can. Oh man. I know they didn't commit the murders, but they're haunted or something. It's true. It's like, it's one thing if they go to the murder scene or like a murder happens and they're called in, but they're constantly like just at a place and then a murder happens. Jimmy Kudo brings death everywhere he goes. Shinji is Jimmy Kudo and Kaito is Phantom Thief Kaito Kid. Oh yeah, that's right. Jimmy Kudo, his English name. I like that name though. Like, I don't remember what they called him in Chinese, but I watched the Chinese and then I watched the English. So I do like the name Jimmy Kudo. I don't think it's weirdly Americanized. Isn't his girlfriend's name like Rachel? Yeah, it's a common joke in the fandom. Conan call the death. No, now people are naming their kids Naruto. 'Cause they grew up with the show. Oh man. I remember Naruto. I like that show though. I never watched the show, but I read the manga for a while. I've never finished it. I know it's done now, but I actually haven't gotten around to finishing it. Leonard's coming in with the unpopular opinions. Tail says, yeah, they changed her name to Rachel in the English dub, which isn't as bad as a stand-in for Ran. Would it be pronounced Lon? Like, with an L? Lon? Lanny? Oh no, one of the worst, anime, what would it be called? Localizations is the Shaman King anime. I refuse to watch that piece of garbage. They change everyone's name to something really stupid, and they give I don't know, Len, I guess. They give Ren a British accent. That's so dumb. Ron. Her name, her English name is just Ron. If I read The Three Musketeers and I name my kid Porthos because that book changed my life, then I'm cultured. But if I name him Goku, suddenly I'm a kid abuser? Wait, what? That was a huge jump. You're not a kid abuser. Unless you act like Goku and, like, abandon your child and make them fight. You're just a dork in both cases. Yeah, no, I think you're just a dork. Goku is the worst dad. But like also Son Goku is named after the monkey in Journey to the West. In Chinese, his name is Son Wukong. And then when it was brought over to Japan, they changed his name to Son Goku. So technically, you could still be cultured, I guess, because it's like an ancient Chinese text. I mean, why is it bad to name your kid Naruto? It's just kind of a dumb name. I'm sorry. It's like, you can name your kid Naruto, that's fine, but yeah, you're naming your kid fish cakes. Boruto sounds like a swear word here, and it sounds like burrito here. Um, I mean, it's so connected to that character, I guess, that you can't escape the cultural implications of it. And I don't know what you mean about naming your kid after the Three Musketeers, because I haven't like read that book. But if Porthos is like not a common name and it's only a name that's found in the book The Three Musketeers, then if it's not weird, then maybe it's just a cultural thing, you know? Like maybe in your culture it's fine to name people after fictional characters, but it's kind of like naming your human child Buddy or Scamp. You know, it's like giving them a pet name. My mom is one of those people who thinks it's weird to give an animal a human name, which I'm fine with. I think it's actually really fun, and also I like to give animals titles that they don't deserve, like professor or doctor, or just Mister. I think it's funny. But for some people, like my mom, it's weird to call your pet animal Alexander or like Stacy, you know, like to give an animal a human name. So maybe it's a cultural thing. In American culture, if you give your child a meme name, it, you know, like, that's your prerogative, I guess. Boruto's dad, Shippuden. What? Sipowden. Is that just Shippuden? I don't know how to pronounce Shippuden. I thought it was spelled some different way. One of my favorite memes is calling Naruto the prequel to Boruto. And instead of calling him Naruto, you just call him Boruto's dad. I think that's one of my favorite like casual meme jokes among the anime sphere. Boruto's dad, the anime. That might be a good nickname. Which one? Fish Cakes and his son Boruto. Burrito. Da 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 da. Anyway, oh, I just remembered the name raider in. Give me a sec. The name raider in Black and White 2 at some point recommends you to name your Pokemon names that end in Ington. Like Washington? Like No, Hamilton doesn't. That sounds great. I think we should all name all of our Pokemon with names ending in Ington after Sword and Shield come out. That's the perfect time to make this a trend. I can't think of any others, though. What are some other names that end in Ington? I just think of Washington. I haven't actually played Black and White 2, but I don't remember the name raider actually giving you any suggestions before. Scorbunnington. That's so good. Wellington. Though, going back to that old Wellington. We're just kicking the dead Horsington. Yeah, a lot of the, so I'm looking at the footage right now, and, you'll see I do follow the sketch pretty closely, in some parts, but a lot of it is adding drawing as you go. I don't, like, where the backpack, line was, and, where I ended up drawing it is a little bit different, because I'm kind of too fast when I'm doing the sketch. I'm just blocking things off in a sketch. I don't have an idea of exactly what, and even back there I wanted the cliff to go that way, but then I felt like it was too sparse, so I moved it down and added a tree line. So yeah, it's still a lot of drawing at this stage. But it's enough is already put down that I can turn some of my brain off. I don't have to think about story anymore. It's mostly just drawing. So it I still can put on like a movie or YouTube and just sort of relax and work on it. Adding definition to the cat is especially fun. He's got this like really defined sort of almost Disney-esque skull going on where his brows come out and his chin comes out, and it's like this doesn't match any of my other Pokemons in terms of style. Maybe a little bit of Sir Francis. You know, I need to work on Sir Francis's anatomy. I don't know how to shade his face. And I think I might drop it in the comics Discord and ask them to help me out with it, because the way I draw his face is like it's just this big fat pudgy roundness, and then his features are like plopped on, but then he has this glow coming up from his chin, and then he has light coming down from like the sky or whatever, and maybe Fire Dog's glowing too, so there's another light source, and it's just shadows all over the place. I'm like, I can't, you look creepy. So I just don't shade him half the time. Rodolfo says, I want the Elite Four in Galar based on the Beatles. Oh, yes. Leonard agrees. Yes, for that. Beatles, Elite Four. Or, no, they could be the evil team. The admins for the evil team. Chico says, I like Jet and Charon's dynamic. And I like Charon's team too. There's a certain point you need to draw the lines with the shadows. You need to draw the lines with the shadows. Wait. Explain what you mean. Just so I get it exactly. Oh man, I'm so excited for Swish, guys. Are you guys getting Sword or Shield? I think I've asked this before, but I don't retain memories. I wanted to get Sword, but I think I'm gonna have to get Shield because it's red. But I'll probably ask my brother, and if he wants Sword, then we'll get Sword. Because I'm less attached to the red than I am to like the offensive typing that is connotated by swords. And also the sword just looks better. I mean, it looks like it's actually like the head is the hilt and the pommel, and it's like shink, and it's cool. The shield just looks like someone took a shield and then like taped the sword behind it and it's poking up. Chico says Sword is cooler, I guess. I want to know the legendaries, though. So Chico's waiting for more information. Leonard says, I can't decide until I know what the exclusive mons are. So Leonard also needs more information. Chico says, you're like a Dory, lol. I have short-term memory loss. Except I have a long-term memory loss as well. Tail says, I'm drawing the line here. Refuses to shadows. There's a certain point you need to draw the lines. I'm drawing the line here. Refuses to shadows. You mean just like don't do any shadow at all? The line is the shadow? I think I just need to define his facial structure more. Oh, do you notice he's like holding some bushes? Because he's trying to blend in. He's like the least likely to blend in, and he's like, yeah, I'm camouflaged. And again, nobody is impressed with anybody, especially Leopard. The funny thing with Charon's Pokemon is they all gave each other nicknames. Like the Leopard's name is Mao, but if he ever decides to give them nicknames, they're gonna have to change their names, which I guess isn't too bad because Jet did change one of her Pokemon's names, but it's just like, yeah, I kind of like the names. I don't think Charon will give them names though, or at least not all of them. Because I do like the idea that not everyone in the Pokemon universe gives all of their Pokemon names. None of the NPCs do. Or like maybe one or two, but like almost none of them. So it seems like it's not standard practice, you know? Tail says drawing the line is a turn of phrase meaning setting your boundaries or saying no. So you're drawing the line. I understand. Tails, you tried so hard with that pun, and I was just tink tink. It was bouncing off my thick skull instead of actually drawing the shadow. I'm drawing the line here. No more shadows ever. It's not usually good practice to take something and like scale it up, but I didn't care enough to redraw the whole hand. Often what I might do is I might cut it out, scale it up, and then or like cut it out, put it on its own layer, scale it up, and then trace it again. But on this one I just kind of, yeah, whatever. Just scale it up. You mentioned you were a goat, right? I am the year of the ram. It's not quite a goat, but yeah. I am an ungulate of a sort, so the goats are not far off cousins. But I'm more of a sheep, I suppose. Ba-ram you! Ba-ram you! To your fleece, your sheep, your clan be true. Sheep be true. Ba-ram you! Anyone know where that's from? Well, and wouldn't most Pokemon just think their species names was their name? They only understand English so much. Funny because ram means money too, does it? Huh. Just like you could name a cat cat. Yeah! Did anyone ever read a picture book called Dragon? And like one of them was Dragon Meets Cat, I think. And it was like about this dragon character, and he finds a cat, and so he names it Cat. And then the cat has kittens, and so he names every single kitten Kitten. It's just like kitten, kitten, like you see their food dishes with their names on it. So yeah, I don't quite know exactly why Charon's Pokemon would give each other nicknames. But you know what? I really like how Agent 9 does it in her Milos PMD comic. I forget what it's called. Milos Goes Home or something. But it's like in the PMD world of her comic, their comic, I think is Boss 9 she? Anyways, in that comic, if you're not familiar with, like, every Pokemon has a name, but you aren't supposed to call them by their name unless you're familiar. Kind of like with Japanese, how you call each other by your surname until you're like friends, and then you can move on to first name basis. So like if you're not like on first name terms, you would just call the Pokemon by their species name, which I think is pretty cool. I'd say I'm sure Pokemon have like their own way of identifying each other, like rather than oh you're Pat Rat number 2. It's more like oh you're the one that smells of sunflowers or something like that. Like you have a certain scent that's yours or like an implication, and that's actually how I named my wolf characters at one point. I got this idea from Julie of the Wolves, or Julie's Wolf Pack, maybe it was. But it's like a short novel, and one of the wolves like notices another wolf, and that wolf's name in the narrative was Silver, I think. But the name came from the wolf seeing, like, the first time they saw her, the sunlight glinted off of her white coat and looked like silver. So then that became her name. Like, it was an association type thing, which I think was pretty cool. So I'm like, maybe they call each other by whatever it is they think of when they first met them. Tails guesses also was that saying from Babe. Yes, it was. I love Babe. I don't remember Babe Pig in the City very much, but I remember the first movie very well, and I really like it. They have no species names among them. Like, they have to call each other something, so they make up name because they don't know their species name. Oh, interesting. Huh. That's interesting. I always forget that Pokemon, it's like an anime thing that they say their names. You're right. They don't actually have species names. You're the short one. I think at a certain point, if it's more of a narrative device, like when an animal calls each other by their species name, it's just a shorthand for whatever it is they're calling each other. But yeah, I never thought about that. I like thinking about how animals would think if they had more human thought processes, but none of our, what would you call it, terminologies. Leonard says that is so confusing both in the comic and in real life. What if you're friends with a couple of siblings? Well, you know, like you would be like, you're my brother who like eats first all the time, or like you're the nice sister, or you know, you would have associations with each other rather than having a specific name or phrase that you like call that certain Pokemon, that certain individual. I'm 1,000% sure my cat thinks of my aunt's cat as that. Where was that thing where, who was it that said cats just think everything is a cat? Like, dogs, you might think, would see a human and think, like, leader or different. You know, like, you're not a dog, and I should pay attention to you, or something. But cats are just like, no, you're just another cat. You're just a weird shaped cat, and I'm going to ignore you. Talk to the hand pose. Talk to the ball. The way dinosaurs and Land Before Time call each other long necks and three horns. Oh, yes. Instead of like species names, they would be like long necks, or instead of saying the sun, they would be like the bright circle. I really like that kind of stuff. I'm playing a video game with animal characters you might like. The style, Dillion's Dead Heat Breakers. Let's see. Dillion's Dead Heat Breakers. You're a weird cat who can't do much. Guess I gotta take care of you. Yeah. Here's a dead bird. Maybe you'll learn how to hunt. You dingus. Did you see how I didn't draw in the castle there? Yeah, that's a problem for later, Zero. I just kind of draw in the bridge, and it's like, there's something over there. They're going off to Oz, I suppose. Do you have pets? No, but I wish I had rats. My dream is to someday have pet rats. But at this point, I could possibly have the funds, but I don't have the time for them. Some days I get home, like at 10 o'clock, and I just don't have the time to play with them. Like today I got home and it was like 8 o'clock. I had to eat dinner, and then I had to set up the stream, and now I'm streaming until like, I don't know, 11 or 12. So it's like, when do I have time to take care of or like spend time with a pet? I would feel kind of bad. But also my mom thinks they're gross, so. Oh well. Do you guys have pets? How many animals do you live with? My mom is wrong. Rats are great. I agree. Dogs are gross. Chico says, I live in a zoo. Chico! Who all lives in your zoo house? I'm one of the attractions! And here you see Chico in its native habitat. I don't. I want to move to a house with a big yard to have dogs. I want a Samoyed to name it Nimbus. What's a Samoyed? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Samoyed? That is a dog breed I do not, like, think of right away. It's a cloud! That's not a dog! That's a cloud! Oh no! Oh no, it's so good! And majestic. That's like a white, Arcanine. It looks like an Arcanine. See, the problem with dogs is I'm out of shape, so I can't walk it. And dogs tend to have a lot of energy, which I don't have a lot of. Fish, I don't understand chemistry, so I always end up killing them by, like, changing the water too fast or not, like, pH balancing or whatever. And you can't really pet fish, so I'm not a big fan. Lizards don't express affection, so I don't want to keep one. And my sister's allergic to cats. I mean, she's allergic to dogs too, but so I think other than rats, I think cats might be the closest thing to pets that I might be able to take care of, because they're more independent creatures. You could sort of let them do their own thing and you do your own thing, and sometimes your paths intersect, I suppose. But I don't know. I just have this affinity for rats. Chico says cats are the best pets, says Egyptians. Well, the Egyptians also worshipped cats, so they're very similar to our current culture in that sense. The internet also says cats are the best. Leonard says, I had a pet iguana as a kid, and she bit me and left a heart scar, shaped scar on my arm. Does that count as affection? I don't know. Tails, does that count as a love nip? That's what En's contemplating as he gazes off into the distance. The tail says yes. She liked you to death. The thing about lizards that's kind of appealing, I guess, is it's less like having a child and more like having an Animal Crossing, where you like set up a house and you decorate it with stuff and then put a thing in there to live. It's like sort of accessorizing, interior decorating rather than raising a person or something. I probably would never get birds as a pet because the like really intelligent ones kind of intimidate me. It's like, I don't want a pet that's potentially smarter than I am. I don't want to be the I don't want to be the weaker of the two. I have an Egyptian friend and she agrees about cats. Seems like a DNA thing. Are Egyptians to blame for the way modern humans treat cats? Are Egyptians the first successfully conquered civilization? Cats conquered the Egyptians. Oh, my cats are definitely smarter than me. Cats come from space, actually. No, they do not descend from the heavens. They rise up from the depths. They are spawn of some sort. Cats just deserve to be worshipped. Yeah, they exude the presence of divinity. Pyramids are spaceships' sandboxes. They don't seem very aerodynamic. Probably why they crashed in the desert. Okie dokie. It's a wrinkly face. I finally decided to draw Getz's, like, not in a funny way. And he, like, instantly got 3 times older than what I thought he would be. Rather, what I had drawn him before. That weird castle thing that he wears is, like, really dumb, though, and I kind of wish he would take it off, but I also don't know what he's wearing under it, so I also can't remove it. And mummies are in charge of cleaning the cat's mess. Excuse me. Chico, you're confusing that with mommies. Tail says every wrinkle is +1 intimidation. That's why they smell bad. I want to cut Colress's weird hair tuft. You would need like a jacksaw to get it off. I feel like it's like sealed solid with hair gel. Like, you know how it's a different color from the rest of his hair? It's because he's just infused it with toothpaste. Oh man, I miss being able to just do a straight line and like not have to take out rulers and stuff. So here I'm doing a second pass at the sketch because this pose had to be good. I don't do genuine emotions very well, so having to draw him like legitimately expressing gratitude to Getzes as someone who's helped him through to achieve his goal, I was a little not sure how to do it, so I broke out the secondary sketch, try and sort it out a bit. He can cut you with it. When I watched the first animated trailer with Colress, I burst laughing. I did this like really short GIF at one point. It's like one of those Homestuck style ones where it just kind of jitters, but it's like I added a toothbrush and I was brushing his head and his teeth. I don't know where I put it. I might have it around somewhere. Chico says, "Are you including Colress?" No. I have no idea who that is. I have never played Black and White 2. So nothing that was introduced in Black and White 2 will make an appearance in this Nuzlocke. I have no idea. Like, who is he? He doesn't even look like he belongs with the aesthetic of Team Plasma. Colress felt very not intimidating, not enough wrinkles. That's a wrinkle in time. Leonard said the animated one? That one looks so good. Oh, did you see it? The one with the Colress? I don't know. If you're talking about the animated Generations, I think it's called, where they kind of just jumped around in the different generations, and yeah, I don't remember seeing Colress in that one either. Oh no, you mean the trailer? Wait, the one where the ninjas are like boing boing, and then like Charon's there, and there's ice on the ship, and boing boing. I love the animation for that trailer, but I don't really remember much about it. I think I like half watched it with an eye closed because I didn't want to get spoiled. But yeah, whatever style that animation is, they should make a movie in that style or something. They should do something with it. Boo times 2. Sorry, Chico. I just don't know who he is. I didn't even include any of the sages. The sages aren't gonna be in this comic because they're just superfluous. They do nothing. I wasn't even going to include the ninja at one point. I was just gonna cut them completely because they seem so random. Like, literally, when you walk into Chargestone Cave, you walk like 5 steps, the ninjas show up, and then just escort you across a bridge. Like, I would have gone that way. You didn't have to escort me the last 2 steps. But I was convinced to add them in. And then I thought of something cool to do with them, and so I added them in. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. The animated trailer for Oraz was really cute too, with the bitey subtitle. Wait a minute. I didn't see no animated Oraz trailer. I gotta look this up now. He's the one with the blue hair. Swoop. I mean, I know what he looks like. I just have no idea anything about his character. Man, imagine having an animated series based on, the effing games. The actual game. They kind of did it, but I didn't like it. The one where it was like Pokemon Red, but they kind of like jumped through most of it. I hate that charged stone cave scene. Why is it there? There's only one path. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks it's dumb, dummy, dumb, dumb. Oh, thank you, Leonard. I will put that in a separate tab and save it. Whenever games have animated trailers, it's always a blast. I remember seeing the anime trailer for one of the Smash Brothers. That was really cool with like Link and Pit. And then all of those reveal trailers for the fighters, even though it was like CG, it was still really good. I'm not against computer generated animation. I just like when it's done well, and not all the times is it done well. Sun and Moon Pokiani, forget the game even exists. Game plot, what's that? The game plot is quite dark, so I would be surprised if they were able to do it with the art style that they went for with Sun and Moon. They seem to go for more of a Doraemon style, younger audience kind of anime with Sun and Moon. I can see them doing like maybe a movie based on the actual Sun and Moon storyline. Because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Pokemon movies have rebooted into another multiverse. I could be wrong, but cause the latest I Choose You movie was like Ash, but not Ash. It was like some other guy named Ash, and like he had different experiences, and like he got different Pokemon, and it was, I didn't see it, but I've heard of it. Like I've seen gifs of it, and I people have told me about it. So I'm pretty sure that was a reboot of the timeline. So maybe in that universe we will get the Sun and Moon that we deserve. The game version. No, you can't call it dark after X and Y anime. I haven't seen X and Y anime, nor have I played the games though, where they definitely killed the main villain. Oh man. For real though, Black and White made me feel chained to the plot a lot of the time, which is why I hated it at first. What do you think of mixing second and third? Wait, what? Chico, someday. What do you think of mixing second and third what? Rodolfo says, I think with the Sun and Moon anime, they're trying to change the formula, now competing with Yokai Watch for the little kids public. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially with like Let's Go and that kind of game coming out. It's like they're definitely lowballing for a younger audience. I love both those shows. CG animation is still a baby, so it can look really ugly sometimes. CG animation is not a baby. It has been around for a long time now. Toy Story was when did Toy Story come out? Toy Story 1995. 1995? It came out in the 1990s? Right now it's 2019, so 1995 would be 24 years ago. My goodness. Though it is slightly newer in the anime sphere, I believe, so I guess it's harder to get it to look right if you don't throw money at it. And anime is all about not throwing money at things. The one that wins the kids wins the future. Sun and Moon game plot ain't got nothing on Pokemon anime X and Y in terms of being dark. I think the new movie's reboot was really lame. They had everything to make a great movie. And now the first Mewtwo movie is going 3D. I'm a little bit disappointed that the new Mewtwo movie it looks like just a 1-to-1 recreation of the 2D, but now in 3D. It's like, at least make it a new movie. That had to be made to explain the fact that Ash and Red exist in the same continuity. Wait, what? Huh? I am not caught up with Pokemon anime lore, guys. It's a baby compared to 2D animation, I should say. And just like early 2D animation had some really ugly moments as they figured it out, CG is in the same space. But you know, like, even the worst of the early 2D animations, it still had a sense of grounding and style to it. Whereas bad CG just looks really lifeless, you know? And I really don't think it's like a matter of how long it's been around. It's really just throwing talent at it. If you don't put the right people on the team, they're not gonna be able to do it properly. Hoseki no Kuni is the first anime in 3D I was completely on board with. I haven't seen it, but what about that, like, one with the cat girl? Tales of his like ugly teenage years. The CG is in its ugly teenage years. Rudolfo says about the next Mewtwo movie, my only wish is that they take the original plot that was supposed to be in the anime end. What? I haven't heard of this. The end of the anime? How is this supposed to end? Leonard says, technically speaking, first digital 2D animation. Digital 2D animation was from 1973, and a 3D CG animation, as we know it, is from 1976. Though Ed Catmull era doesn't look anything like the Blur Studios game trailers. Tail says, IDK about that. Some of those clown rotoscopes look awful. That was rotoscoping. Rotoscoping always looks kind of weird. And I'm pretty sure they also use chalk, I think. So, you know, using animation lightly. But yeah, I guess. Bad CGI is badly animated CGI, right? It's not that the models are wrong. I mean, it's both. If you look at bad anime, it's not just, oh, is the movement wrong, or does the character is the character drawn wrong? It's like it's both. It works together. You can have really solid animation and the characters are extremely off looking, and it might get a pass, but if there's no like consistent style or like grounding, it's hard. And there have been some really bad ones, certainly, but they paved the way for the physics. CG doesn't have to learn that now. It's not like, oh, we're starting CG animation, so let's forget our history with 2D animation and start from scratch. No, we still understand squash and stretch and like weight and camera angles and movement, but because they're like solid models now, there's less incentive to break the mold and stretch the character out or like have them deform in ways that 2D animation just does naturally. And we don't pay too much attention. We like our eyes gloss over the weird wonky drawings because it just strings together into an animation. But we see every frame of a 3D model moving across the screen, so you can't hide anything from us. Also, if we talking money, let's look at some of these cartoons which were made on a budget of a ham sandwich and look so bad. Yeah, when they started producing the first Pokemon movie, it was supposed to end the anime. Whoa. Just like Mewtwo was the last thing to do in the game. Huh. Here. This is the first trailer of the first movie. Must resist the urge to drown people in animation history trivia. Oh man, I wish I knew a lot more about animation history. Leonard, you should do a video or something, or like a blog post about it, because I'd like to learn more. I feel like my education kind of let me down in that sense because I went to college for animation, but our school did not have a good track for animation. So it would have been so nice if we had like a animation survey or some kind of art history class on animation, or like study different artists who had worked in the field. But they didn't do any of that. They just had a 3D animation course and a 2D animation course, and that was it. And then you just took like normal fine art stuff and normal like Western art surveys and art history stuff. It's like, come on. There's so much to dig into here. Tail says, yeah, but I feel like CG still has its own stuff to learn. Just like if you're great at painting, you still need to learn certain things about using oil pastels. I think that's a good analogy, yeah. Like you can know everything there is to know about drawing and color theory, but if you don't know how to blend pastels, or it's like watercolor versus acrylic or oils, you can't always take what you learn in oil painting and apply it to watercolor. But you can take a whole lot. Like, it's not as desperate as you might think. I've done only a little bit of 3D animation, and certainly the modeling, woof! Now that's a different beast entirely. It's like, whereas in 2D you can just like draw a thing and it's there. Look, I put lines on a page. With 3D modeling, it's like you have to know the software. Otherwise, you just can't. There's nothing you can do about it. But so I sucked really bad with 3D modeling. I could not make a model to save my life, or rig it, or paint in the anchors, or even really skin it. But you give me a well-modeled figure, and I can make that thing walk, talk, and breathe. It's like playing with dolls almost. So yeah, in one sense, it is animation, but in another sense, it is a lot to do with the models. Going back to what Chico was saying, it's like, I think 50% of, like, maybe even 60-70% of CG animation depends on the modeling. Once you have a good model, the rest of it is just normal animation. There's no difference at all. Well, maybe a little bit, but the principles are all the same. But whereas in 2D animation, you can force anyone to just pick up and learn how to draw this character in a certain way. Like, you had 5 different people working on Beast. With CG, you need a very specifically trained team to make these character models and send it to you, and you're at their mercy to make it work out. I'm trying to catch up with what you guys were talking about. Sorry, then must be searched by this. When that Zoro evolves, it's gonna be epic. Oh boy. What if the Zoroa was already evolved this whole time and was just putting on an illusion that it was a Zoroa? Leonard says, I mean, in order to be a good 2D animator, you need to be good at drawing and timing. You need to be a good artist and a good actor. And they didn't even make me take acting classes. They should have, like, made theater 101, like, or like film 101 a required learning class. It was just bad. There's so many things they could have done better with it. In order to make a good CG, you need to know things about sculpture and lighting and programming. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we can take a whole lot, but it still feel like there will be a lot to learn for its own medium. But mastering 2D will help a ton. If you're talking about, like, prerequisites, I guess you don't have to start with 2D. I thought we were talking more in terms of, like, preference, because I do kind of prefer 2D animation, and I think maybe CG is has more to prove in that sense. Like, there's just that much more, I don't know, like, disturbance in the force. It's easier for it to look not realistic, I guess. Like, it's floaty, wonky. I don't know. But if, like, in terms of learning one or the other first, I couldn't tell you. I don't know anyone who's jumped straight into CG animation, but I'm sure at this point in history, there's probably a few. Rip Sonic animators. It's funny though, because you got all the important parts. You got the head, the hands, and the feet, and they're all really big so you can see them. And then the rest of the stuff is just like spaghetti noodle. You don't really have to worry too much about how things connect. You just like kind of spin it however you want. I don't know which would be harder, to animate a Sonic character or to like in 2D, or to animate it in 3D. I almost feel like 3D would probably be harder because they're just all over the place, but I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm on the fence. Chico says, I wish 3D programs were more intuitive. Yeah, I after doing 2 whole semesters of Maya, I tried to open it on my own, and I just kind of like blanked out. I had no memory of this place. Leonard said, I remember this video about Squash and Stretch applied in the hat evil guy from Meet the Robinsons. Oh, the bowler hat guy! Meet the Robinsons was a really cool movie. I watched that like 5 times in a row on a plane trip to China at one point. So I have some deep memories of that movie. Any movie with a twist that can be watched 5 times in a row and still be interesting is good in my book. It's not like one of my favorite movies. It would never like crop up in a favorite list of mine, but I do enjoy it. You know what's a really good CG movie? The Madagascar series. Man, are those characters animated. And they do a lot of squash and stretch and just jumping around. It's really great. So yeah, I love good CG animation. I mean, I feel like Into the Spider-Verse was the first movie I felt only could have looked like it did in 3D, where most 3D movies I feel like could have looked just as good, if not better, in 2D. You know what's interesting is when what was his name? Nostalgia Critic was talking about, I think it was Nostalgia Critic, it might have been someone else, but someone was talking about the Road to El Dorado movie. And they mentioned that they didn't understand why it was animated. They're like, this would have worked just as good in live action, if not better. And I'm like on the one hand, you're wrong, and like I disagree strongly. But on the other sense, it's like I do kind of see what they're saying. Like, no, everything that happens in the movie is so grounded in real, like, so even the special effects could have been emulated with like Marvel style special effects. So it's almost like what constitutes like a piece of media to be that media? Like, why does it have to be that and not the other thing? It's a good question. I really like Kung Fu Panda too. I think that one has some good squashing and pose, big flabby body. But these are all like really big budget productions. You know, anything will look good if you throw money and talent at it. Anime, again, is just jumping into CG, and it's using it mostly to cut corners, which animation is an entire art form built around cutting corners. Anywhere you can, it's like, yes, do it. But like, they haven't so far done a very good job, I think, because they're trying to emulate anime, which is already very stiff most of the time, with the very like same face kind of cut and paste character design, and the lip flap movements, and the specific flat style of eyes that they do, and it just doesn't translate very well to CG. I'm thinking like in terms of Wooby and this other anime that I can't remember the name of, but like I've heard good things about them. They just feel stiff to me. Maybe because I haven't watched it. And I might enjoy it in a campy sort of way. Like maybe the stiffness has its own appeal, you know? Like there are some songs that I'll listen to because the artist has a specific tone to their voice, and it's not that it's like an appealing sound, but it is fascinating and I just keep wanting to listen to it. There are some 2D animation that are like this that are so ugly that I just want to keep watching the characters move. And so I can see myself enjoying a 3D anime in that sense. But it hasn't gotten to the point where I've seen a 3D anime and been like, wow, that's better than it would have been if it was in 2D. Tail says, wait, no, sorry. Tail says, yeah, until you make the Sonic characters cross their arms. No Sonic character has ever crossed their arms. They just kind of grasp their body. One big hand on a shoulder and the other one just like kind of on the side. Sonic is designed to make sense only in a 2D plane, like a Mickey Mouse ears effect. Mickey kind of works in 3D. I mean, he was in Kingdom Hearts. I read something about Squash and Stretch and how it's the same principles but done differently in 3D. Like in 2D, you just draw the squash and stretch, but in 3D, you gotta distort the heck out of the models. Yep. Exactly. That's why they don't like to do it. And to its detriment. I understand that they can't do it easily, but this isn't about being like easy. Like you can't just jump into a new art form to make things easier all of the time. I remember watching a commentary on the making of the Incredibles. No, it wasn't a making of. It was a movie commentary where the person like watches the movie and talks about it. And they got so excited about the scene when Edna throws his suit into the trash and it kind of like falls in and they're like, oh, did you see that? That like 5 seconds of just the cloth falling into the trash can. They were really, really excited about that because cloth is so hard to work with in 3D. So I think that's it for the footage. I'm going to take a sec right now and read what I missed. So give me a sec. Tail says, I read something about Squash and Stretch. And oh, yeah, I got that. Tail says, one of my favorite things is seeing 3D models from a different angle than we see them in the movie. That could be interesting. Or like taking someone's shirt off when they never do and like seeing what's underneath. Leonard says, please no! Nostalgia Critic, not only doesn't know what he's talking about, he's tainting non-animation fans' opinions of what is good and what isn't. Oh, come on. That's kind of harsh. I grew up with Nostalgia Critic. On that note, if we have to get Disney animated movies remade in live action, where's my Treasure Planet remade in live action? It would look so good. Treasure Planet is one of my favorite movies to look at. Like, all of the movement is so juicy. Chico says, if you cut all the corners, you end up with a circle. Yay! We like circles. Tails says, slams fist in the table. Give me Treasure Planet and Atlantis live action movies with Marvel sequel. A Marvel level spectacular spectacle. I can't read today. CGI. Chico says the new Spider-Man movie was amazing though. Oh man, I still haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse. It's definitely on my to-do list. But we have a bit of a task for us today, boys. I might do this in Photoshop just because I know I have it in a Photoshop file. But I don't know if anyone noticed, but Jet is missing a small detail in this last episode. And that is she doesn't have her her pin. The Jet badge that she pinned to her hat. So I'm gonna have to go and retrieve those. Which side was it on? I think it was on this side. Where did my glove go? It's on the floor. It's watch it now. It's worth it. I'd say it's even better than the originals. I should watch it right now. Just cancels the stream, goes to watch Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, but I'm oopsies. I'm just gonna go through and put in her thing, and then we'll probably have just about enough time to do some kind of Pokemon game, Pokemon from memory challenge, or Pokemon whatever it is I end up rolling for. But yeah, I always forget her pin. I made sure I caught myself before posting this month, so she does have it in this update. But I decided I'd probably just wait until the stream and like add it in then. So yeah, maybe I'll turn Karen on. Karen, are you in? Do you want to work today? There's a good girl. Why don't you read me the chat while I draw? Chico says, I want to see it again. Chico says, you can stream when you watch it. Chico says, she loses her pin quite often, I'd say. Rodolfo says, is that good? I would completely understand if you wanted to stop this. It's that good. I would understand if you stopped it. Oh my goodness. Just watches it on the stream. I wonder if I would get how many content flags I would get for doing that. Let's erase some of the shadow just so it's Spider-Verse is that good. Oh man, you guys are tempting me. Rabbit Party viewing off Into the Spider-Verse. What's that? What's a Rabbit Party? And I don't know what you're talking about, Chico. Jet and Charon are clearly wearing different clothes. I think it's this side. It's always so hard to remember which side is which. But I think it's this side. Is it like a site that lets you watch things with other people online? We had a there was a time in my youth when I and some of my online buddies wanted to celebrate Christmas together by watching some Christmas specials. We wanted to watch The Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated version, the what else did we watch? I don't remember any of the other ones. Hold on. Oh, Mickey's Christmas Carol. I don't remember what else we watched. I think this. This site lets you watch things with everyone else. Oh, I like the logo. It's cute. I'm gonna hold on to that. Thank you, Tails. Shame. Oh, wait. Do you, like, can you plop up a DVD or, like, a movie that you own, like, on iTunes or whatever, and then stream it to the other people? Or does Rabbit itself has streaming? Oopsies. I'm of course not drawing it right. Sometimes you just have to learn how to shorthand things instead of forcing yourself to draw every single detail exactly right the same way every time. As long as it doesn't like stand out is weird. I guess it's fine. And I guess it also depends on your style. If you have a lot more of a realistic style, then it may be a little weird to see things being wonky all the time. But lucky for me, my style's super wonky to begin with. So I don't have to worry about that. As long as I don't straight up forget things. All right. So, I know not all of you are in the Nuz forum community, but there is speculated to be a move soon, possibly, and I want to bring it up that things are changing. And I'm a little bit worried about the change. Because some of the, my favorite comments are from the Nuz forum website. Just from people who have, like, commented over the years. And I'm wondering if anyone knows a quick and fast way to just save all the information from a web page. Because I know you can, like, do a save as and save the URL or whatever, but I don't understand how that works because is it not just a link? Like, do I have to have all the, I don't know, code and data and stuff? Like, how does that work? But if I just go to each page and like do a save and save as and save that web page, do you think that'll be enough? Or I was thinking of going through and just comment by comment, like copying it into a Word doc. But that might be a little too much. Other than that, I'm quite excited to move. Oh, Karen just died. I'm like, ye old youth. Tail says, shame me all you want. I love the live action Grinch. Yeah, it shares your screens with everyone. So whatever you put on your screen, we can see. Isn't that just streaming? How is that different from streaming? That might be a fast way to save all of the comments if I just go through and like record myself reading them all. Huh. Oh, here's another one that needs a badge. Stick that badge of honor. You know, this one is too much of a close-up to fudge. I think I need to make it look more like the actual badge. And now it looks weird because it doesn't have shadow, so I have to put some shadow on it. I think that's just about enough. It doesn't need too much detail. Maybe a little less here. I've always wanted a way to watch things with other people, kind of like inviting your friends over in the ye old good old days, where your friends would come over and you would just sit in the computer room and watch YouTube videos with the volume way low so your parents can't hear the curse words. And it's hard to do that now with having friends so far apart. But yeah, what's the difference between that and like just streaming your own? Is it because the audio doesn't sync in a normal stream? Oh no, here's gonna be a lot. I guess let me know if you guys are interested. I can pull up the stream when I finally get around to watching Into the Spider-Verse, or Avengers, or whatever movie that I have on my list. We could just have a movie night. Even in my native program, I have trouble with the shortcuts because my fingers are always going a little too much to the right. I'm always hitting the N button instead of the B button by accident. It's a thing. I missed one. Oopsies. No pins there. Here's one. So the other day I was trying to sketch the next episode, and was trying to draw Golet in some kind of action scene, and I needed him to punch the ground but be in the position of having punched the ground, so like kind of leaned over with his fist on the ground. And I couldn't figure it out because he's got these like people legs, these straight up human legs, but they're like fused together at the top, so that he can't move them. Like if you think of like a solid stone diaper just kind of holding your legs in place, I feel like that's kind of what's happening with Golurk, and I don't understand. Like, how does he move? Does he just hop? Does he does he waddle? Like an action figure? I don't know. So I thought, you know what? I've said this and I'll say it again. The anime has always been sort of like the nature channel for Pokemon. If you want to know how Pokemon move, how they interact, how they behave, where their attacks come from, my go-to source of reference is the anime. Because canon or not, I prefer the look of the anime. And I'm so mad because even in the anime, they have no idea how it's supposed to work. They literally, in a scene, have the exact pose that I wanted to do. And instead of drawing the problem areas, they just block it off with a big pillar of smoke. Oh, man. Pokemon anime knows how to cheese. So yeah, no. I guess the answer to the question how Golurk moves is it doesn't. How does it bend over? It doesn't. You kind of lean it on its side. How many of you out there are still in school? Here in the US, school is coming to a close soon. We're gonna be going into our summer vacation period, or summer school for a lot of people. Which means the print shop is getting a little busier. People are coming in with their assignments, their art, and it's always nice to see. It's also a lot of talking, a lot of on the feet sort of days, and I decided, you know what I need? I need sustenance. So I went and I bought a bunch of microwave dinners because I just always wanted to try them. And I also got a can of Chef Boyardee. It's been a long time since I've had a Chef Boyardee beef ravioli. But that was like my favorite thing as a kid. I think they would straight up just serve Chef Boyardee in the school cafeterias when we had ravioli time. And I loved it. That was my favorite. Alright. So how should I do this? I think if I open... or rather... quit out of that. Open up clip. And, to the stream section, grab this guy. I kind of want to add one more to this, and I don't know how. But I thought maybe if I add one that's called Natures, if like we get that one, then we can generate a random nature and kind of do a character design based on that one. I don't know. But with 11 slots, that means I can't use my D10. So, I don't know if I should get rid of one of the other ones. I've never really enjoyed doing a Mega Evolution. It's too difficult for me. So I might replace that. But I don't know if people actually like seeing me do it. Let me know if you would rather me keep this one on. But yeah, if anyone's still in the chat, come on, give me a Pokemon. Otherwise, I'll have to generate one randomly. Which I am not above doing. I just have to pull it up. Random Pokemon generator and random.org. So you can actually see what I roll. And I would have to do it 1 to 11, I think. Oh, seems like people are chatting. Let me refresh the chat then, because apparently I'm not seeing anything. No chats are coming through for me, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what to do about that, though. Let me quit the app and pull it back up, maybe? It doesn't seem to be refreshing up here either, which is a little concerning. You know, if this isn't working, I have a way to find the chat. I can basically go to the different channels. So let me go to Twitch. Is it gonna play me an ad on my own video? Thanks, Twitch. Thanks. I can go to YouTube. Whoa! So I have quite a bit to catch up, it seems, because I couldn't get any of your chats. For some reason, not only was Karen not reading it to me, but on the actual Restreamio thing, it also wasn't updating. So that's weird. But let's see, what have we been talking about? Do. Thus, you remind me of another comic artist from my country, Wonky Wonka. Oh, did you get PS to work? My Nuzlocke was moved to incomplete without knowing, but I think they're not wrong about it. No, it saves all the code in an HTML file and a folder. Don't die! You have to do it for every page, though. The badge got busted or replaced by knockoffs. Time for dinner for me. Bye! Bye, Leonard! See you back, maybe. We're almost done with the stream. Go away, intruder. I'm going to sleep. You This helped me concentrate in a drawing while listening. Have a nice stream. Bye, people. Bye, Rodolfo. I'm probably too late on that. Golurk only moonwalks with his tippy toes. He does a ballet shuffle on point. Another good emoji. Verizon. Karen is not a fan. Okay, so I caught up on YouTube. Unfortunately, Twitch doesn't keep old chat things, so that's lost to time. Sorry anyone who's on Twitch. But yeah, let's try that again. If anyone has a Pokemon they suggest that we draw for this final thing, and then I'm gonna pull up random.org 1 to 11. Excuse me. Oh no, Chico! Don't die! Forbid me now to die, and I'll obey. Oh, thank you, Tails. So Chico says Virizion. I do not need alcohol to become drunk. I have the ability to lose consciousness just from lack of sleep, I suppose. Scrap, here we go. Let's open this. So, Karen just died again, so I'm gonna put her to sleep for good this time. I think it has something to do with, like, the length of the stream. I'm gonna generate a number. I got number 2. What's number 2? Fusion variant. Alright, guys. What do we want? Do we want a fusion or do we want a variant? First of all, I kind of find legendary Pokemon fun to draw from memory, just to see what I can do. And maybe I got the wrong Pokemon in mind. Is Virizion the Three Musketeer that's got like this thing? And I think she's got like a feather in her hat or something. Oh, she's got boots. They all have boots for some reason. And like people legs or something like that. I don't remember if she has a tail. So I'm just gonna give her a cape. And maybe like that. I got my old English clip working again. Variant. And I like it has cute little function. Wait. Yo, Zero, I wanted to tell you Rabbit is different because it won't content ID you as easily as YouTube or Twitch, and also its interface is designed around watching stuff together. Oh, that sounds good. So you don't get in trouble as easily. What are the mon? I'm doing a Virizion. It has a cute little function where you can press emoticons, emoji, and they appear on screen so you can see when people are clapping or shocked. That's really cute. And I got my old English clip, but I'm without internet. RIP. I'm so dependent on it to work. Wow. Wait, how are you watching then? If you don't have internet. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Virizion. Watch, it's gonna be a completely wrong Pokemon. Oh no, I got it. Okay. So at least I'm in the right ballpark. I wasn't completely off. She goes like, I'm not. I'm a product of your mind. Ooh, spoopy. Okay, I gave her the wrong boots. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I also haven't planned to include the Three Musketeers in my run. So these are some Pokemon that I have never thought about in my life. I don't understand. Is it possible to do a variant with a legendary? Don't they not breed? I don't think you can do variants on Pokemon that don't breed. That's the difference between a variant and a fusion. A fusion is just taking two Pokemon and like combining them. Variants are more like, if these two had a baby, what would the baby look like? Nick says not with that attitude. Okay, let's see what egg group it's in. It's in the undiscovered egg group. Oh, which includes Nidorina, Nidoqueen, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo, all of the baby Pokemon, all of the legendaries. Great, okay. That's cool. These are our potential variants. I kind of feel like maybe a Reshiram. Let's just go with Reshiram. I mean, why not? Unless you guys have a better one. He's got a kind of an anime eye going on. Oh, and hi, Nyx. Raiko? Sure, let's try Raiko. Let me pull up a reference for Raiko. An electric type. If Raiko were to breed with our little Verizian over here, what would we get? Let's see. Well, we've got... maybe... this part... You get a toothy, fluffier Verizian. Definitely toothier. Would she get saber teeth or tusks? I need to think about this. Okay, so we have... I was gonna have it rearing up, but then I realized I didn't want to draw that. Don't know how her head is supposed to work. Okay, so she's got these kind of antler things, But I think they come out from her head. But then they're curving in. And then... I need to turn her body around. I can't. I can't with this dramatic pose tonight. We're turning this horse around. She's facing this way now. They both have red eyes, so it kind of matches. Give her some teeth, I guess. Oh, maybe she can be like... Oh, you know what could be cool? Since Raiko has that sort of thing on his face there, what if we give her, like, shades? Like a mask, almost. I think that's a good angle. And then let's make her horns a little longer. Maybe they can be black. I don't know. So it's like a masquerade mask, you know? Also, Kamina shades. Good night, Chico. Good night. Similar enough not to clash, but different enough to have fun, I hope. Get a toothy, fluffier... Yes, let's make sure she's nice and fluffy. Oh, kind of looks like a golly, it looks kind of like a chipmunk. Okay, what do we have here? Maybe... Those things can be like that. I think I found a bit of an angle that I want to approach it with, but oh, the cloud can be the tail. So instead of spiky, it's fluffy. How How would it connect though? Would this part be like purple or would it just stay the normal Parisian color? I feel like I need to make it so that you can see the other horn a bit more, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Right now it almost looks like I just put a Raiko's head on a Parisian's body. I guess it doesn't help not being able to draw the base form. I didn't make it easy on myself by angling it upward. But even though it's angled upward, we may still be able to cheese it and just make it let's move her over. I'm scrunched up in the corner and I don't even have to be. Let's put some of these on top from the Raiko's thingagummy. Well, Chica's off, so I guess I'll move back over to Twitch. Reshiram! Oh, I get it. You get toothier, similar enough to not. It's weird. Like some of the chats are going across, but not all of them. So there's like one or two that I miss until I go to the other platform. And then it's also like, who knows when it just decides to not show me any of them at all, which isn't helpful for anyone. Thanks for Streamio. Should I make the tooth even longer, maybe? Oh, I think one last thing would be to make the boots kind of follow that Raikou patterning, where it does this, and then just put some stripes all over the place. And I'm not sure how I like that actually. Make these curl in like Raikou clouds. Clouds. And maybe the color will help. I think it also is hard to make something with twig legs wear Super Sentai boots. And that probably doesn't lend itself in the design to begin with. Okay, what color should this guy be? Does purple work? For the cloud, if she's supposed to be, it's like, should she still be mostly green is the problem. Because if the cloud becomes purple, then the rest of her becomes purple, basically. Would that look good with green? What color is Parisian? It's white. Let's color this in really dark. Maybe the top as well. And maybe a light blue for the mask. It's just starting to look like Raikou, like straight up. No Verizian here. It's just a Verizian shaped Raikou. This is more of a fusion than anything. Yeah, I think it's too much of a fusion. I'm gonna bring it back into green. Maybe a darker green, but still green. There, that looks more like it's more of a Verizian. Oh, I forgot the eyes are red. They're bloodshot, like mine are gonna be. And, color these in. The boots are supposed to be green too, but that's a lot of green. But I don't know how much color variation there should be in a variant. I did variate the color here because the black is, I mean, the head is a little darker than usual. Maybe I'll color this part dark. And, the mouth like that. You know, maybe... it's not too bad. What if he had yellow boots? Rain boots. Yellow rain boots. Now that's a little much. I don't like that. No, don't like that. I like this simpler. It's a little simpler when it's like this. Shit, I have some blue from here. What if it's blue instead of red? Howdy, Midna. What do you guys think? Does that kind of work? Any suggestions on how to make it better? Well, if not, I think that's it for today. This was fun. Like I said before on the stream, I probably won't be doing many more of these commentary episodes of the stream. Just because, I keep forgetting and sometimes not wanting to, record footage when I'm working on the episode. So... until I decide to more, we'll just leave it up in the air on whether or not we do more of these. If enough of you enjoy them, let me know and I will consider doing more of them. You know, I just don't know how interesting it is sometimes just to watch past me draw instead of current me struggle to draw. But it was a lot of fun being able to just not think about making something and like talking to the chat. You guys are always a lot of fun to talk to, regardless. So yeah. As I noodle away. I think this will be darker. And then... what do you think? Do you like the blue or the red? Should I make it red or keep it blue? Blue. Alright, well, we'll just make it blue then. Red and green and white screams Xmas. That's true. It's too Christmassy. Well, in any case, I want to thank my patrons again for this month, for supporting me and helping me get through my Clip Studio challenges, and also for helping me afford the new computer that I'm using right now. And yeah, if you want to jump on the Patreon, May is coming on up soon. And so if you're interested in checking out all of that, I just noticed, and this is bothering me, but the lamp is off on this picture. Do you see, like, there's supposed to be a beam of light? But in any case, I'll fix that some other day. I hope you guys have a great week. Monday's over at least, and I'll see you all next month. Have a good evening, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye. Adios. Ta-ta. And all that good stuff.